How can you make OCD better your life instead of ruining it? Well, this seems to be a kind of crazy question because everyone watching this video will be like, that is not possible at all because OCD is just ruining my life left and forth and there's nothing I can do with it. Some of you may say that, well, maybe I can recover, but I honestly don't see OCD improving my life in any way at all whatsoever. If that's you, then please bear with me because I'm gonna show you in this video that this is possible. You can have your OCD improve your life vastly if you do the things that I'm gonna share in this video. If not, then, well, it's probably not gonna work out for you. I would like to introduce this video with an idea from David Burns, who's one of the best CBT psychiatrists in the world, and he has this idea of what he calls 200% recovery. 200% recovery, when you fear heights, for example, means that you don't just stop fearing heights, that would be 100% recovery, but you actually go even further than that, into liking heights now. And this is kind of what we will talk about in this video. So let me now introduce what I like to call transformative therapy. Maybe you've seen my previous videos about this, but this is basically my very own psychotherapeutic way that I've created. I created transformative therapy because I was kind of fed up with the modern approach and viewpoint of mental disorders. Because most people that you're gonna meet are just gonna be like, hey, I have OCD and I just want it to be gone. I just need some pills, I just need anything to be rid of OCD. I do believe that the goal of therapy should be transformation. I don't believe the goal of therapy should be to just manage symptoms and lower them and get rid of them. I believe therapy is much more than that. I've always admired and loved those stories where let's say I watch Naruto now, and there's Naruto and Sasuke, these two characters they hate each other, they're big rivals, but why do they get so strong? Because they have their rivalry. Without it, they wouldn't get as strong. And this is what I realized is missing for me in modern day psychotherapy. Like, yes, it's great we reduce symptoms. It's great because I'm not, laughing at that or anything. That should be the goal of therapy. That's why you go to psychotherapy, to be able to live your life again. But where I don't agree with modern day psychotherapy is that we view this as, oh, here's your life and you live it. Oh, then this bad disorder comes. We got to get rid of it ASAP, ideally. And then you can just go on with your life again. You can just move on with your life just as it were. I don't like that. And I think we should place much more emphasis on, no, you lived your life, then this came, and it's an adversity, but it's an opportunity for you to elevate your life, to up your life, to level it up. Because in order to beat this thing, your current life probably won't suffice. Your current level of psychological toughness, habits, addictions, social relationships, it probably is not enough to beat this thing. Because we all know what we should do to live a better life, but we mostly don't do it. At least that was my case. But then if you have OCD and you connect the dots, you realize, damn, I need to transform myself into someone who's the best version of me possible, because otherwise I have no chance against OCD. Because OCD is like a black belt in some martial art, while you are maybe a white belt, blue belt, like these beginner level belts. It's gonna kick your ass. It's gonna kick your ass all the time, and it's gonna be so unpleasant that you're gonna train that much harder, that much more, in order to improve, to become a better martial artist, and to eventually beat it one day and overcome it. And that's why I created transformative therapy, because that was what I needed from psychotherapy, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And it was missing for me in the modern day approaches to psychotherapy. Just imagine Harry Potter, finding out that Voldemort is out there to kill him, and finding all about this world of wizardry. And he would just be like, oh my God, just give me some pill, I need to forget all about this. Now, I'm not saying that you're a Harry Potter and that, you're gonna get your wand now and that I'm gonna teach you some Expelliarmus, That's unfortunately not what's going to happen. But what is going to happen is that I hope you start to see my point. If Harry wouldn't beat Voldemort, if there would be no Voldemort, Harry would never grow into the wizard that he became at the end. Heck, not even into a wizard, into the man, into the person that he became toward the end. And so transformative therapy is just this approach to mental health struggles that says, hey, this is your dragon, this is your Voldemort, this is your Sauron. Do you really want to get rid of those? Because maybe if you overcome those, if you get stronger than those, if you struggle with those, you're gonna get the lessons that you wouldn't get otherwise. You're gonna get the life that you wouldn't get otherwise. And maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying this will happen to everybody, but this may really move you forward in life so much that you're gonna be really appreciative in the end of having OCD or depression or anxiety, what have you. There's some opportunity in this. This is something that the movies are made about. This is something that we read stories about. This is why movies are fun to us, because there's some conflict that the main hero has to resolve, or heroine, and they can grow in that. And the whole movie is about lessons they learn and the character development they make. If there would be no struggle in the movie, if there would be no struggle in the story, we wouldn't even dare to watch those. Why it would be different with the stories of our lives? And so this is just a very short introduction towards transformative therapy. But its main premise is really this. In transformative therapy, what's really important is this. Here you are when you get your disorder. And here is your disorder. Because your disorder is stronger than you right now. That's why you suffer from it. You know, someone who's weaker than you is not going to start bullying you in school. Only someone who feels stronger than you, who feels like they're bigger, like, oh, I can bully this guy. And the same goes for our disorders. They are bullying you because they are currently stronger than you. But my approach to mental health, transformative therapy, is about realizing, and this is the first step because you need to have that awareness before any practical steps. It's about realizing that it's not about this. You don't want to just lower the disorder or either reduce the symptoms or just get rid of them so much that it's not even there. I don't think this is a very elegant approach. I don't think this is a very elegant solution, to be honest. What I think is a much more elegant solution is for you to not even care what the disorder does. To not even care what your OCD, depression, borderline personality disorder does. Just let it be there. Let Voldemort do its thing. Let it do its thing. Let it try to hold you back. Let it try to limit you. But you will keep on improving your life. You will keep on getting stronger and better, getting new lessons, getting better at freedom, getting better at acceptance, getting better at facing your fears, getting better at living your life to the fullest and your day to the fullest despite this. And although this may sound pretty abstract and pretty wishy-washy positive thinking, it really can be done. And you can get here. And that's the goal of transformative therapy, is to use this, whatever it is for you, that's blocking you in your life, in your goals, and getting stronger than it, and ended up here. And now you're the stronger one. Now you're here while your OCD or depression or whatever it is here. So can it bully you? Not really, because now you are the stronger one. And as I said before, it's not really gonna bully you if it's not stronger than you. It can try, but you are stronger now. Look, the practical step now is write out your ideal future self. Write down like 5 tops, most important areas of your life and how they would look like, and reverse engineer. Where would I want to be ideally in my life one day? Maybe in 20 years from now, maybe in 30. For me, it's relationships, spirituality, it's body, fitness, it's wealth. It's where I want to be when it comes to how much money I want to make. Well, it's your mission in life, your career sort of. all these things, whatever's important for you. Your recovery, where would you like to be in terms of mental health journey? And really reverse engineer, set these crazy goals. They're called big, hairy, audacious goals in marketing. And you set those, and then you are like, okay, what would I have to do to get there? Okay, and what would I have to do to get there? And you create these steps and you then follow them. So create your ideal future self, and this is gonna create what I call ego dystonicity. Ego dystonicity is a term from Sigmund Freud, and it basically means that something is not you, something is not your ego. It's the opposite of who you are. And I'm a big believer in transformation therapy that you can increase this ego dystonicity. How? By really sort of realizing what it is that you want. What are the important areas of your life? Setting goals in those. And by that you sort of increase your ego and you separate yourself from OCD that much more. Because your OCD doesn't want to kill you, but it wants to see you at maybe like 5% of your potential. You know, if I were OCD, my biggest dream would be not to kill you, but to really not see you succeed in your ideal future self, to really hold you back from it, to really limit you, to run into everything that you like and just ruin it for you. You know, be it productivity, be it your wedding, be it nice day with your kids. So if you can get more to your ideal future self from where you're now, this is gonna create and increase your ego dystonicity from OCD. Because right now, you probably wanna wash those hands. You know, this is you, this is your OCD, you're one. You're like Spider-Man and Venom. You know, when Venom, Spider-Man got like, you know, infused with Venom, and all of a sudden he was acting as the Venom wanted. You know, it's this, if you're not into Spider-Man, Venom is this alien, and you know, it's basically the idea is that you're probably not like, oh, I don't want to wash my hands at all. You're probably at least somewhat connected to your OCD. Oh yeah, let me better wash them not to catch hepatitis or AIDS or something. Well, if you create your ideal future self, because here's you, here's OCD, you're connected. But if you can create your ideal future self, you will create like a pull towards it, and you can be like, oh damn, I really want this. I really, really want this. And you'll start working at it. You will realize that much more how much OCD is holding you back and limiting you and killing this ideal life for you. And it's going to create more ego dystonicity. You're going to feel even more separated from OCD, even more like you don't like it, even more like it's really frustrating you because it's blocking your goals. And you're going to get frustrated. And this is going to create anger in you. And that anger is energy. And the best clients I've ever had this inner warrior quality, this energy of, I'm gonna take my life back. I want my life to look a certain way and I'm gonna take it back. But most people I meet with OCD, they don't even have their ideal future self anymore. They're just like, oh, I just need this, I'm here, but I just need this to stop. I just need this to lower. I just need not to feel this. OCD is so strong, it's so high, I need to lower it. Transformative therapy is not against pills. You can take antidepressants. That's not a sign of weakness. On the opposite oftentimes. But it's about you, step by step, over years, even whatever it takes, you know, however long, get in here, into your ideal future self. And now, OCD cannot limit you nearly as much. So let me end this video, guys, with just saying that me personally, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for OCD. I already hinted at that throughout the video, but I was just a guy who would be playing video games now, and I would be just like my childhood buddies. They're not unsuccessful, but they're not like, I don't know. When I meet them sometimes, they're usually like really still into video games like we used to be as boys, and they have their addictions, and they're often like pretty obese, and they're not very happy from when I talk with them about their lives. And I would be that. I would be just like that if it wasn't for OCD standing in my way. And whatever it is for you, OCD, depression, you name it, you know, anger issues, OCD can better your life instead of ruining it if you realize that the biggest part of recovery is whether you can get close to your ideal future self or not. If you can, the more you live like your ideal future self, the more stronger you will be. And it's just super hard for your disorder to attack you then. And because it cannot bully you if it's weaker than you. And I remember that. I remember that on the days when I didn't want to wake up after I set a time to wake up at, which I would never do if I didn't have OCD. Why the hell would I wake up, like, especially on Saturday, let's say, when I don't have to go to work? I would just sleep into, like, the afternoon hours. I wouldn't care. But I had to wake up at that specific time because I wanted to be stronger than my OCD. I wanted to beat it. I stopped with 99% of my addictions. I had to cut social media off because I was spending 4 or 5 hours a day. Would my ideal future self that had very, very good mental health, that was here, not here, spend 4 hours on social media a day? It had to go. And I know this may sound overwhelming, guys, but this is what you do over years and years and months and weeks, and this is where you build up to. And so I hope that with this video I proved, at least hypothetically, with this one practical thing that I want you to guys do now, which is to write down your ideal future self, that you can indeed make your OCD into something that's gonna improve your life upon looking back instead of ruining it. And I'm the living example of that. I love my life on 10 out of 10. I would never change it. And I still have OCD. I have it on like 2 out of 10, but if I just lower myself down by not waking up on time, taking on addictions, not caring about spending time with my wife and with people I love, and not being on my mission, not helping people, my OCD, I get here and it can bully me again. And so that's what's keeping me here. And most people don't have that, guys. This is a privilege. Like, my best friend, he would need that. Like, he would literally need that. He's dealing all his life with, like, super big procrastination. And he was just like me, but he never had his disorder. And so, you know, he would really need that. He never had his enemy to beat that would get the best out of him. He never had, like, this arch rival that he would need to get as strong as he can in order to beat. He never had that. And I'm so glad I have it. And I'm so glad you have it. Although it may sound super paradoxical because I know how much suffering is involved. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up under the video. Click on that subscription button. And I'm going to make sure to read every one of your comments. And I'm going to make sure to follow up with some video about how to better your mental health and with things that work for me. Thank you for watching this till the end, and sayonara. See you guys later with some future videos. Peace.